back again to bring you all things MLB Update. Now halfway through May, which is crazy. But today we got a couple topics. Obviously, we have new managers, are with two that have been fired so far, and maybe more to come. We also
Yeah.
have. I want to talk a little bit about the DH, Boston Red Sox issues, Baltimore issues, and of course, we're going to end the episode with your power rankings of the top 5 teams in baseball as of now. So, Tubby, welcome back
Yeah.
to the show, man.
What is up? I'm ready to talk some baseball.
Same. How much baseball did you get to watch this weekend?
This weekend was super busy, so
Yeah,
zero.
finals, right?
Finals. My mom graduated on Saturday.
Dude,
It was
congrats. Let's
just,
go.
yeah, a long weekend. So yeah,
Yeah,
no baseball this weekend, but I watched some highlights to try to keep up. So
yeah, yeah. Well, there you go. That's what I mean. Tons of ways that you can do that. The MLB app has a lot of new ones. I will say this. Um, I watched a lot of the Cardinals this weekend, and the Cardinals are in Kansas City, and I'm going to every single game. I'm so excited.
nice,
Yeah, gonna hit them
nice.
all, and it's gonna be a packed house. It always is whenever it's the in-state rivalry game, but
Yeah.
should be fun. I-70 series. So,
Oh boy.
all right. Well, let's start with it. Two managers on the hot seat, so hot they had to get off. We'll start with Derek Shelton of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He is done. But the big question I think around him is it really his fault?
No,
Yeah, no, not even a little bit.
I mean, what they haven't done anything to address the offensive issues.
Hmm.
They've got some solid pitching. The bullpen hasn't been good either. So, I mean, he can only manage what you give him. So if you're not giving him the pieces to at least compete, then how can it be on him?
Yeah, the only moves that you've really seen them do is some of the pitching. They've drafted well and they stayed
Hmm.
healthy enough. And the other side was re-signing Brian Reynolds. And the other one you could say is uh, getting Andrew McCutchen back just for the fans.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they've been lacking massively. Even O'Neal Cruz, it's not like they have him locked down forever.
Yeah.
So I think whoever it is that comes in now, the ownership, honestly, they just have to decide to spend a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Just spend some money.
Hmm. Or do some trades. You've got some good trade pieces.
Hmm.
Try to make some moves to get some offensive players.
Yeah. So whoever it is and who's in there next, he's another interim manager. But do you see much different? I mean, give me the amount of wins that this Pirates team has at the end of the year.
68.
Yeah. See, that's still a step in the wrong direction. I mean, it's still going to
Yeah.
be last in the division.
Hmm.
And this is just the problem with the Pirates right now. It's so frustrating. So, how
Hmm.
about this? Flip the script. You go over to the Rocky side. They lose 21 to nothing, absolutely obliterated. And but Black is gone. So, whose fault is this?
Uh, the whole organization.
It's
They
a
they they
joke.
they've got to fire everyone. I mean, it's hard to do when your owner isn't going to do anything, but I mean, from the top bottom, everyone has to go. You have to completely clean house and try to start over a new regime because they haven't done anything in years besides the one fluky, you know, make the playoffs in the mid
Yeah.
2000, in the 2000 teens or whatever. Other than that, I mean, like, they aren't producing offensive players, which is weird because you're in
Historically bad
yeah,
offense.
yeah, you're in a stadium where the ball should be flying out of the stadium. We've always known they can't really produce pitching a whole lot. Every once in a while, you'll have a good pitcher that pops up and does good. You had Ubaldo Jimenez back, when Matt Holliday was there, and then you had Herman Marquez have a couple good years. Kyle Freeman had a good couple years, and then that was pretty much it. And
Yeah.
you just don't see them. I mean, they're not drafting well, which is a big problem because you aren't going to get people in free agency to want to come to Colorado to play. So if you don't draft well, then
Yeah.
you're pretty much just done.
Well, and here's the problem I have with both of these teams is I'd love the conversation instead to be give me the type of manager that these two teams need, but it's not even that. That's not going to solve the problem. It's just going to put another band-aid on it for a little while. You have to get to the root of the issue, and that is truly that the teams don't have good ownership. They just don't have any direction. And the Pirates should. This should be an easy fix for the Pirates. Spend a
Yeah.
little bit of money, make the right trades, and maybe I don't know, hire everyone that you can from the Rays. Hire anyone you can from Los Angeles, even
Seriously.
from the Astros from a couple years ago, not the cheating side, but the rest of it, and just rebuild that side of the organization so that way you can say, if we can't have pitching, we're gonna have the best analytic team in the business. And they don't even spend money there.
No. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're not willing to spend money in the off season, you're gonna have to bring someone in that will try to do like that, do the analytics side of things. All right, we're
We're
gonna
two
go out.
anti-analytic
Yeah,
guys, but you're like, at some
yeah,
point, you're gonna have to do it.
yeah. I mean, and that's gonna be the case in a couple years. It's like I saw a thing today, and they're like, "Do you trade Paul Skeens now and just get like a Herschel Walker size, trade package back from him?"
You might
But the
have to.
thing is when you look at baseball, it's so much harder to do because the prospects are so hit and miss that you can't just go, okay, we're going to trade them for all these prospects and we're going to be good.
Mhm.
It just, I mean, a lot of times you see those trades happen and they just don't pan out
Yeah.
whatsoever. So it's kind of hard for you to go, oh yeah, we'll just trade them. It's not like go out, you can't go out there and just get like 10 picks for them, bunch of first round picks and all that stuff. It just doesn't work that way in baseball.
No, and you can't have back-to-back top, like, 5 picks or something like that with the
Yeah.
new CBA, so even
Hmm.
as bad as they are, both them and the White Sox are not gonna put themselves in any better position for draft picks or number 1 overall
No.
prospects. They're not gonna get a Holiday. You just can't.
No.
So, looking forward to this. I think that this is the tone right now that you see in baseball. Is there's some messes that are going on. There are two other ones, and that I want to hit first. And number one is, and then we're going to end on a positive note. We're going to have some negatives here, so bear with us. But we'd love to have your comments. So if you haven't already, make sure you put your comments here. We'll make sure we respond to those the best we can. Even if it's after the show, make sure that you go ahead and put those there. Your thoughts on these moves, or the ways to get it fixed. And if you haven't already, consider hitting the subscribe button. We grew another subscriber this last week. We just want to say thank you guys so much for participating, being a part of the show, and showing up again and again. You guys are the best.
Mhm.
But as we continue on the kind of the messes in baseball right now, uh, obviously the Baltimore Orioles, is this worse than we truly thought? I mean, they were 14-24. I don't know if they actually won yesterday. I didn't see the result of that one. I think they did, but
They did.
I mean, okay. So this team is worse than I think. They're worse off than we thought. How do
Yeah.
you fix a team that has this much talent at this point?
At this point, I'm not quite sure, just because the young bats aren't really producing like we thought they would. We thought at least our offense would keep them afloat enough to,
Mhm,
kind of stymie the pitching problems that we saw. And, you got a negative 65 run differential right now. You can't
mhm.
score runs. And with those young bats that you have there, if they're not producing, then at that point, I mean, it's just kind of like, what do you do then?
Mhm.
Because this wasn't the problem we were expecting. We weren't expecting them not to be able to score runs. We thought they were going to put up runs and they were just going to be in a bunch of high run games because of the pitching side of things. Well, now neither are doing anything. So you're just kind of in this big mess where you're just like, I'm not quite sure what we do. I guess it's just more hope and see that these guys, get out of their funk and start hitting.
Yeah, number 1, I'm telling you, you have to remove Cody Ash. He's the hitting coach, and we're gonna get a whole new wave of perspective, whatever it is. And I'm gonna tell you, as a
Mhm.
Cardinals fan, how night and day it is to have different hitting coaches over the last 3 years or 4 years. Excuse me. This is their third hitting coach, and it is just a much different approach. And
Mhm.
sometimes that's what they need. It could be have deaf ears. I don't know what it is, but this is 2 years in a row where they're not quite hitting the
Yeah.
peak level that they did in 2023, and now it's starting to look
Mhm.
like maybe 23 was the exception and not the expectation.
Yeah, no, it definitely is looking like that. Like I said, I'm just kind of dumbfounded that
We're
these
here.
often, yeah, that these young guys just what we saw in 2023 and the potential we saw from the offensive side, we were like, man, this offense in a couple years is going to just be a
The best in the
nightmare.
league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
teams are not going to want to face this lineup, and it's just like seems like everyone's just kind of taken a step back each year. And
Hmm.
I understand Gunner was hurt at the beginning of the season, but he's been playing a lot, since the injury and just hasn't really done anything. Holiday is trying to pick it up a little bit, but still really underwhelming from what everyone expected. Rutschman really hasn't produced a whole lot. It's just kind of you're like, well, yeah, what where are we at? Maybe it is a managerial change and a hitting coach. Maybe, like you said, the words are falling on deaf ears at this point. They've heard all they could hear, and now you gotta have to go in a different direction.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I know that there's gonna be some shakeup. If they don't turn around on their own, and it doesn't look like they're going to, something will change between now and the break,
Yeah.
All-Star break. So I think if you are a fan of Baltimore, know that it has to get better, right? Because it can't get worse.
No.
Um,
No.
and so this is a point where you look at the team that they're about 10 games under 500, depending on when you're watching this episode. We saw this with the Phillies a couple years ago. They had,
Mhm.
or not the Phillies, the Nationals. They had talent, but they were really underperforming. They ended up turning it all around, getting hot at the
Mhm.
right time, and ultimately winning the World Series, all games on the road. But they won the World Series. Is there a potential for that to happen here, or is this team not built for that?
No, this team's not built for that. They don't
Agreed.
have the pitching that the Nationals had. I mean, you had Scherzer, you had Strasburg, who was healthy that year. I mean, Gio Gonzalez, you had some pitchers that year,
You
so
did,
it's not
and
like
you, yeah.
they don't have that type of pitching, with the Orioles. So it's really going to have to come down to that offense is going to have to find a different gear and get into the swing of things to give them any chance at maybe pushing for a playoff spot. I can't hear you. Mm-mm. There we go.
Okay, so sorry about that. I gotta have to put my phone on not to disturb in this moment. But same concept. Could the Braves be that version of the Nationals?
Yeah, I mean, once they get healthy, I think they definitely could.
Yeah, definitely would agree. I just even from what you're seeing on the pitching side of things, they're getting healthy on the pitching,
Hmm.
and they're almost back to 500. Fully now. Just wait. This Braves team is solid. I
Yeah,
really believe in them full season. Not necessarily
yeah.
right now, but I believe in them full season. How about your Red Sox, though, Toby?
I mean, somehow with everything that's going on, they're only 2 games back at first in the American East. So I honestly don't know. Like, there's a lot of just stuff going on there in the clubhouse, the front office. I mean, Rafi Devers is not happy.
He
Alex
is
Cora is
not
not
happy.
happy.
Nope.
I mean, so maybe I know they just signed him to an extension, but maybe it's about time that we see a parting of ways.
Yeah, it does, dude. It's a mess right now in the clubhouse,
Mhm.
and they've had meetings and stuff like that. But so many, they have some really high end prospects they haven't called
Mhm.
up, and part of that
Yep.
is just the tension in the clubhouse right now.
Yeah.
Uh, how worried are you that this is going to be a full season issue, scale of 1 to 10?
I think that if they keep Devers and they keep on pushing, oh, we need you to play first, we need you to play first type thing, it's eventually going to wear on the clubhouse even more. And I think at this point, either they're just going to have to say, hey, okay, we're done trying to get him to play first base. He's a DH or third base. That's it.
Hmm.
Or you're going to have to make the move, trade him around the deadline or before the deadline just to try to, ease things in the clubhouse.
Yeah. Well, before we get into hot take or top fives, I have a hot take,
Okay.
and it's that the DH rule is being woefully underused across the board right now. I think the DH should be guys like David Ortiz. Now, I get it,
Oh,
not
yeah.
every team's going to get a David Ortiz, but you can get a JD Martinez or Castellanos or um, Nelson Cruz type bat.
Hmm.
Um, Slugger who can hit the ball, can go out there consistently and put up close to 40 home runs. And so many teams are using the DH as a platoon rest day. I think people don't real teams don't realize how much that is actually hurting their offense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
No,
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
but that's
no,
just the
I
thing.
agree.
You're getting guys who are actually getting phased out of the league a little bit earlier, maybe, and
Hmm.
it's hurting them so much. It's hurting offenses, and I think one or two teams need to just go find the guy and say, "Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this the old school way," where teams just have refused to do it now. And I think analytics have gotten in there a little bit, obviously, but that's
Yeah,
I'm saying, forgetting analytics. We're just going to have guys that can mash. Kyle Schwarber.
yeah, yeah. I don't want a guy like every once in a while you see the Dodgers have Kike Hernandez DHing. I don't want to see
Wasting it.
that. Yeah, I mean the guy's batting maybe 200 right now. I don't know if he's doing that, but or they'll have Chris Taylor do it. And I'm like, what's the point? You're put someone in there that you know that
Mhm.
okay, maybe they're going to hit 220, but if they give me 30 home runs, okay, I can deal with one person doing that, but I can't deal with the guy that's in the lineup that is batting 194 and has one home run.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. All right, well, let's move on. We got top five. Tubby, who is in your top five power rankings right now?
It's relatively the same as last week. There hasn't been a whole lot of movement, but I do have one team that has jumped up into the top five, one team that moved down.
Okay.
So I still my top three are still the same. The Dodgers, Padres, Tigers, all three the same.
I like all three of those.
Now I'm going to put the Yankees at four.
Let's go.
I I'm gonna move them up.
Okay.
Mariners have had a kind of a down, week.
Yeah.
The Cubs had a down week, so I kind of moved them down, and I'm actually going to put the Cubs at five, but I think there's a good argument to put the Phillies there.
Yeah, I think if I was going to change anything right now, it would be Dodgers. I'm still going to put them at one, and this is annoying because they have so many injuries, and they're still number one. Clayton Kershaw absolutely looked amazing in a rehab start. I don't know if you saw that,
Yeah,
making
dude.
teenagers look just starstruck and how good he was. I do still like the Padres up there, and I'm going to put them at
Hmm.
number three because at number two, I'm going to put the Tigers. So it's going to go Dodgers now, Tigers, and then the Padres. I still really, really like the Yankees. And because I trust the pitching more, I'm going to say the Phillies, but it's very close between them and the Mets at this point.
Yeah,
At some point, I just had to give credit to the Mets. I mean, they're plus 67 ratio.
yeah.
I'm not trusting the pitching as much.
Hmm.
They're 5-5 in the last 10 compared to the Phillies. The Phillies got the Cardinals, so hopefully I'm wrong about this, and the Phillies are terrible. But that is where I'm at right now.
Yeah, no, it was very close for me for the Phillies and the
Mets.
Cubs at five.
Oh, okay.
I'm still not sold on the Mets right now.
Yeah,
I
that's fair
I
enough.
mean, and I'm still worried about the Cubs pitching also. I think those two teams, the pitching, I think there's some worries there. Especially with Imanaga getting hurt for the Cubs, you lose your ace, for a couple weeks. But I, I still believe in the offense is the thing. The offense is
Yeah,
still, I think, super powerful. You've still got a plus 50 earn run or
run differential.
differential,
Yeah.
even going 5-5 this week.
Well, and here's what I want to say. Maybe we're wrong, and maybe the Mets should be number one because they're 20-11 against teams with a winning record. That's nuts.
Yeah,
It's by far the best in the league. No one else is above 3 games above 500.
yeah. I
So
mean
just throwing
maybe,
that out there.
but
Some respect. We better start respecting the Mets.
anytime you start respecting the Mets, what's going to happen?
They met.
They met.
So let's start respecting
Start cheering for them just so they'll
them. Yeah. Yeah,
fall.
that's what we want to see. All right, well, guys, that is the show today. Again, we're going to be back again later this week as we have some more NFL updates. Maybe when we talk about some of the top defenses moves as we go into almost summer. Believe it or not, it's mid-May, which means summer is just around the corner, and we're going to go get into even more college football news. So maybe you're new to the show and you're like, I wish they would talk college football. Don't worry, it is coming. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and plan to be with the Debbie Sports Podcast a couple times a week because we're going to enjoy the podcast every single time that you show up. So till then, see y'all next time.
See ya.
See you.